Right now, as you settle into the quiet of your evening, 90 meters beneath the cold, dark waters of the Baltic Sea, something impossible rests on the ocean floor. It's been there for perhaps thousands of years, maybe longer, waiting in the darkness like a secret the Earth isn't ready to share. The object is 60 meters wide, about the length of a Boeing 747. Its shape defies natural explanation, perfectly circular, with straight edges and angular features that look deliberately designed. A long track stretches behind it across the seabed, as if it crashed and skidded to a stop. Those who've seen it say it looks exactly like the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Others whisper a different word, UFO. This is the Baltic Sea anomaly, discovered in 2011 but still unexplained. Professional divers report equipment malfunctions near it. Sonar images show structures that shouldn't exist in nature. Samples reveal materials that puzzle geologists. Every expedition to study it raises more questions than answers. Perhaps you've seen the images, that haunting sonar scan showing something clearly artificial looking on the seafloor. Or maybe you've heard the theories. A crashed UFO, an ancient monument, a natural formation that coincidentally looks designed, or something else entirely. Tonight, we're going to descend into the Baltic's dark waters and explore one of the ocean's most controversial mysteries. So let your mind drift into those cold northern waters, past the threshold where sunlight fades, down to where something waits on the seabed, something that might rewrite our understanding of history, or might simply be nature playing tricks with stone and time. Either way, it's a mystery that refuses to be solved. To understand the anomaly, we first need to understand its home. The Baltic Sea is unique among Earth's seas. It's practically a baby in geological terms, formed only 12,000 years ago as glaciers retreated after the last ice age. It's barely connected to the world's oceans, more like a giant brackish lake than a true sea. The Baltic is shallow, averaging just 55 meters deep. Its waters are cold, dark, and stratified, layers of different salinity that rarely mix. The bottom waters are often anoxic, containing no oxygen. This creates a hostile environment where few things can live, but where objects are preserved remarkably well. Viking ships, medieval trading vessels, and World War II aircraft rest on the bottom in near-perfect condition, protected by the cold and lack of oxygen. It's also a sea full of secrets. The Baltic has been a highway of human activity for millennia. Vikings sailed these waters. The Hanseatic League built its trading empire here. 2 world wars left countless wrecks, weapons, and mysteries on its floor. Some estimate over 100,000 mines still lie unexploded in the Baltic's depths. The seafloor itself is mostly mud and clay, accumulated over thousands of years. In some places, the bottom is flat and featureless for kilometers. In others, glacial activity left ridges, valleys, and deposits of rocks and debris. Understanding what's natural and what's not requires expertise and careful analysis. On June 19, 2011, the Swedish ocean exploration team Ocean X was on a routine expedition. Led by Peter Lindberg and Dennis Oshberg, they were searching for shipwrecks in the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Finland. Their ship, the Anselus, was equipped with side-scan sonar technology that creates detailed images of the seafloor. Dennis Oshberg was monitoring the sonar when something extraordinary appeared on his screen. At coordinates 61 degree, 48, 15, 19 degree 47, 57, E, approximately 87 meters below the surface, was an object that made no sense. The sonar image showed a circular object, 60 meters in diameter, resting on the seafloor. But it wasn't just the object itself that was strange, it was everything about it. A 400-meter track extended behind it, as if it had crashed and slid across the seabed. The object appeared to be raised about 3 meters above the surrounding seafloor, sitting on what looked like a pillar or pedestal. Peter Lindberg, a veteran ocean explorer with decades of experience, later said, "I've been doing this for nearly 20 years, and I've never seen anything like it. The shape is completely round, with straight edges and sharp angles. Nature doesn't make shapes like that. The team nicknamed it the Baltic Sea anomaly, and when they released the sonar images, the internet exploded. The object's resemblance to the Millennium Falcon was uncanny. UFO enthusiasts declared it proof of extraterrestrial visitation. Skeptics insisted it must be a natural formation. The Swedish military expressed interest. OceanX suddenly found themselves at the center of a global mystery. In June 2012, after a year of preparation and funding challenges, OceanX returned to the site with a larger team and better equipment. This time, they were prepared to dive. The dive conditions were challenging. The Baltic in this region is dark and cold, with visibility often less than a meter. The team had to navigate by instruments, feeling their way through the murky water. But what they found when they reached the object defied expectations. The divers reported that the object wasn't just a rock formation. It had distinct features, straight edges and right angles, what appeared to be stairs or steps, a circular hole, or opening near the center, surface textures that looked manufactured rather than natural stone formations, resembling corridors or walls. Stefan Hagerborn, one of the professional divers, reported, "When we got to the object, the first thing I noticed was how different it looked from the surrounding seabed. It's like someone had built something and then covered it with thousands of years of sediment." But the strangest reports concerned equipment failures. The divers said their cameras stopped working when they got close to the object. Satellite phones malfunctioned. Even their ship's electronic equipment acted strangely when positioned directly above the anomaly. These reports fueled speculation about electromagnetic properties or active technology. The original side-scan sonar images remain the most compelling evidence that something unusual rests on the Baltic seafloor. Unlike regular sonar, that shows depth, side-scan sonar reveals shapes and textures. The images of the anomaly show features that are difficult to explain naturally. The main object, a nearly perfect circle, 60 meters in diameter. The edges appear raised and defined, not gradually merging with the seafloor as you'd expect from a natural formation. The surface shows what look like straight lines and geometric patterns. The object appears to rest on a pillar or pedestal, raising it 3 meters above the surrounding seafloor. This pillar is approximately 8 meters in diameter. Geologists struggle to explain how natural processes could create such a structure. The track, a 400-meter-long track, extends from the object, complete with what appear to be side ridges. It looks exactly like a crash track, as if something hit the seafloor and skidded to a stop. The track maintains consistent width and depth, unlike natural seafloor scarring. Secondary object, about 200 meters away. Sonar revealed a second, smaller anomaly. This object is approximately 40 meters in diameter and shows similar geometric features. The presence of two unusual objects in close proximity adds to the mystery. The staircase. Multiple sonar passes revealed what appears to be a staircase or series of steps on one side of the main object. The steps are uniform in size and spacing, about 1 meter high each. OceanX brought up samples from the object's surface. The analysis revealed puzzling results. Unusual composition. The samples contained metals in concentrations unusual for the Baltic region. High levels of iron, manganese, and surprisingly, titanium. Titanium is rare in natural Baltic geology. Age inconsistency. Different dating methods gave wildly different ages. Some suggested the object was pre-Ice Age, over 140,000 years old. Others indicated much younger formation. This inconsistency is unusual for natural geological formations. Burned appearance. Many samples showed signs of exposure to extreme heat. The surface appeared partially melted or vitrified in places. Natural explanations for this are limited in the Baltic context. Geometric fragments. Some samples contained what appeared to be perfectly straight edges and flat surfaces at the microscopic level. While crystals can form geometric shapes, The patterns didn't match known crystalline structures. The reported equipment failures near the object are perhaps the most intriguing aspect. Electronic interference. Multiple independent diving teams have reported electronic malfunctions. Cameras that work perfectly elsewhere fail near the object. Satellite phones lose signal. Compass needles spin. Stefan Hagerborn's report. Everything electrical that we brought down there stopped working. I've been diving for 40 years, including around shipwrecks full of metal, and I've never experienced anything like it. Natural explanations. Some scientists suggest the interference could be caused by magnetic minerals in the object. The Baltic region does have natural magnetic anomalies, but the intensity and consistency of the failures seem unusual. Temperature anomaly. Divers reported the water immediately around the object was slightly warmer than the surrounding water, about 1–2 degrees Celsius difference. This could indicate geological activity or chemical reactions. The most sensational theory is that the Baltic Sea anomaly is a crashed, unidentified flying object. Proponents point to several factors. The shape. The circular disc-like shape matches classic UFO descriptions. The geometric features, straight edges, and apparent design elements support an artificial origin. The crash track. The 400-meter skid mark looks exactly like what you'd expect from something crashing at high speed and sliding across the seafloor. The consistent width and depth of the track suggest a single, solid object. Equipment failures. Electromagnetic interference is often reported in UFO encounters. The consistent electronic malfunctions near the object fit this pattern. The age. If dating suggesting pre-Ice Age origin is correct, the object predates known human civilization in the region. This leaves either an unknown ancient civilization or non-terrestrial origin. Government interest. The Swedish military initially expressed interest in the find, though they later downplayed it. Some interpret this as evidence of a cover-up. Similar objects. UFO researchers point to similar disc-shaped objects, reportedly found in other locations, suggesting a pattern of crashed vehicles. However, the UFO theory faces significant challenges. No debris field. Crashes typically create debris scattered over a wide area. No such field has been found around the anomaly. No technology. Despite multiple dives, no clearly technological components have been recovered. No metals or materials that couldn't occur naturally. No radiation. UFO crashes in popular lore often involve radiation. No unusual radiation has been detected at the site. Another theory suggests the anomaly is a human-made structure from a lost civilization. Pre-flood civilization. Before the Baltic Sea formed 12,000 years ago, this area was dry land. Ancient peoples could have built monuments here, later submerged by rising seas. Similar structures around the world. Underwater structures have been found that predate known history. The Yonaguni Monument off Japan, structures off Cuba, and formations near India suggest ancient civilizations built in areas now underwater. The steps and corridors. The reported architectural features, stairs, corridors, right angles, suggest deliberate construction rather than natural formation. Astronomical alignment. Some researchers claim the object's orientation aligns with astronomical phenomena, suggesting it was an ancient observatory or temple. Baltic legends. Local folklore speaks of sunken cities and lost civilizations in the Baltic. Could these stories preserve memories of real structures? Challenges to this theory include no cultural context, no artifacts, tools, or other evidence of ancient civilization has been found in the area. Geological age. If the object is truly 140,000 years old, it predates modern humans in Europe. Construction method. Building such a large structure would require advanced technology not known to exist in prehistoric Baltic regions. The scientific consensus, though not unanimous, leans toward natural explanation. Glacial deposit. The object could be a glacial erratic, a large rock transported by glaciers during the Ice Age. The Baltic region is full of such deposits. Volcanic rock. Some geologists suggest it's a volcanic formation, possibly pillow basalt. The circular shape and pillar could result from underwater volcanic activity. Concretion. Marine concretions can form unusual shapes as minerals precipitate around a core. The process can create surprisingly geometric forms. Methane seep. Some scientists propose it's related to methane seepage from the seafloor. Methane can create unusual geological structures and might explain the electromagnetic anomalies. Sandstone formation. Analysis of some samples suggests sandstone, which can fracture in geometric patterns under certain conditions. Supporting evidence includes similar natural formations. Other locations have natural formations that look artificial. The Giant's Causeway in Ireland, with its hexagonal columns, shows nature can create geometric shapes. Baltic geology. The Baltic has unusual geology due to its glacial history. Many strange formations exist that are definitely natural. No definitive artificial evidence. Despite multiple expeditions, no undeniably artificial materials or structures have been documented. A historically grounded theory connects the anomaly to World War II Nazi experiments. The Nazis conducted secret weapons research in the Baltic region. Some speculate the anomaly could be a failed experimental device. Die Glocke. Nazi Germany allegedly worked on a secret project called Die Glocke, the bell, a supposed anti-gravity device. Some claim the anomaly matches descriptions of this device. U-boat base. The structure could be a secret submarine base or underwater installation, deliberately sunk at war's end to prevent capture. V-weapon. It might be a prototype V-weapon or other secret project, crashed or scuttled in the Baltic. Operation Paperclip. The rushed evacuation of Nazi technology at war's end could have resulted in dumping secret projects in the Baltic. Evidence considerations. Historical records. No documentation of such a device in this location has been found in Nazi archives. Materials. The age and composition don't match known Nazi technology. Location. The site is far from known Nazi research facilities or U-boat routes. Less discussed but equally mysterious is the second object found 200 meters from the main anomaly. Similar features. It shows similar geometric properties and unusual sonar signatures. Connection. A feature that might be a corridor or tunnel appears to connect the two objects, though this is disputed. Purpose. If artificial, why two objects? Mother ship and escape pod. Two parts of a larger structure. Coincidental natural formations. Less studied. Most attention focuses on the main object, leaving the second largely unexplored. The 400-meter track behind the main object remains one of the most puzzling features. Consistent width. The track maintains uniform width throughout its length, unusual for natural seafloor scarring. Raised edges. The sides of the track appear raised, as if material was pushed aside by something sliding through. End point. The track ends exactly at the object, not continuing past it. This suggests the object created the track, not that the track existed independently. Age. The track appears to be the same age as the object's position, suggesting they were created simultaneously. No return track. If the object moved to create the track, it never moved back. It's been stationary for thousands of years. At minimum, water and sediment analysis around the object revealed unexpected chemistry. Metal concentrations. Iron and manganese levels are higher than typical Baltic seafloor, but not impossibly so. Titanium presence. Titanium is unusual, but can occur naturally in certain geological conditions. Sulfur compounds. Elevated sulfur suggests possible geological activity or unusual chemical processes. Organic material. Lower than expected organic content in sediments near the object, possibly due to chemical inhibition. The reported equipment failures remain scientifically problematic. Inconsistent effects. Not all electronic equipment fails. Some cameras work, others don't. Pattern isn't clear. No measured field. Despite reports, no one has successfully measured an electromagnetic field around the object with proper instruments. Natural possibilities. Iron-rich formations can create magnetic anomalies. The Baltic has natural magnetic variations. Psychological factor. Expectation and excitement might lead to over-reporting of equipment issues. Professional geologists have studied available data. Dr. Volker Bruchert, Stockholm University, examined samples and concluded they were primarily granite, gneiss, and sandstone, natural Baltic rocks. The formations likely resulted from glacial activity. Swedish Geological Survey reviewed sonar data and suggested the object is within the range of natural Baltic formations, though unusual. Marine geologists proposed the circular shape could result from gas seepage creating a pockmark, then filled with glacial deposits. Ice Age specialists suggested the object could be a glacial erratic dropped by melting ice, with the track created by glacial movement. However, these explanations don't satisfy everyone. Incomplete data. Scientists work with limited samples and images. Comprehensive study would require extensive excavation. Unusual features. Even skeptical geologists admit some features are difficult to explain naturally. Academic caution. Scientists are naturally cautious about claims that could damage their credibility. Marine archaeologists have weighed in. No human context. The lack of associated artifacts makes human origin unlikely for the suggested ages. Natural precedents. Many formations initially thought artificial proved natural upon closer study. Methodological issues. The investigation hasn't followed archaeological protocols, potentially destroying evidence. Open possibility. Some archaeologists won't rule out human origin but need more evidence. Engineers and technical experts have examined the evidence. Structural analysis. The reported features could be natural rock fractures and formations. Crash dynamics. If it were a crash, the physics don't quite match. The track is too straight and uniform. Material science. No materials have been found that couldn't occur naturally in the Baltic. Equipment failure. Electromagnetic interference could have natural explanations or be exaggerated. The Baltic Sea anomaly became a global phenomenon. Initial coverage. News outlets worldwide reported the discovery, often with sensational headlines. Documentary features. Multiple TV documentaries explored the mystery, usually emphasizing the UFO angle. Internet theories. Online forums exploded with speculation from aliens to Atlantis to time travelers. Skeptical backlash. Science communicators pushed back against sensational claims, sometimes dismissing the anomaly entirely. Tourism impact. The discovery affected the region. Dive tourism. Some operators offer trips to see the anomaly, though exact location is protected. Local economy. The nearby Swedish and Finnish coasts saw increased interest from mystery tourists. Scientific tourism. Amateur researchers visit the area, hoping to solve the mystery. Protection concerns. Authorities worry about damage from uncontrolled exploration. The anomaly entered popular consciousness. Science fiction. Writers incorporated Baltic-like anomalies into stories. Video games. Some games feature underwater mysteries inspired by the discovery. Conspiracy theories. The anomaly became part of larger conspiracy narratives about hidden history. Meme culture. The Millennium Falcon comparison spawned countless memes and jokes. Since the initial discovery, several expeditions have visited the site. 2014 expedition found additional geometric features, but no definitive proof of artificial origin. 2016 survey used better sonar technology, revealing more detail, but not resolving the mystery. 2018 sample collection gathered more rock samples, confirming unusual but not impossible geology. 2020 remote survey. COVID-19 limited direct exploration, but remote sensing continued. Recent quiet, less media attention has meant fewer funded expeditions. Scientific consensus. The current scientific view, while not unanimous, likely natural. Most scientists lean toward natural formation, possibly glacial. Unusual features. Acknowledged that some features are difficult to explain. More study needed. Comprehensive investigation would require significant funding. Open questions. Several aspects remain genuinely mysterious. The discoverers maintain their stance, not claiming aliens. Ocean X has never definitively claimed it's a UFO, despite media portrayal. Genuinely puzzled, they insist the object is unusual enough to merit serious study. Funding challenges. Proper investigation would cost millions. They don't have. Protecting location. Exact coordinates are now protected to prevent damage. The Baltic Sea anomaly raises questions about how we approach mysteries. Desire for answers. Humans crave explanations, sometimes accepting weak ones over uncertainty. Pattern recognition. We see patterns in design even in random formations. Extraordinary claims. Sagan's maxim that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence applies here. Scientific method. The anomaly tests how we investigate unusual claims. The unknown ocean. The anomaly reminds us how little we know about our oceans. Unexplored depths. We've mapped more of Mars than our ocean floors. Hidden history. Entire civilizations' remains could lie underwater. Natural wonders. Earth still holds formations we don't understand. Humility. The anomaly teaches humility about our knowledge. Why do people believe different theories about the anomaly? Confirmation bias. We see evidence supporting what we already believe. Wonder. Some want the mystery to be extraordinary. Skepticism. Others resist anything challenging conventional understanding. Narrative appeal. Certain explanations make better stories. I first saw the sonar image of the Baltic Sea anomaly on a science forum in 2011. My immediate thought was, that can't be natural. The circular shape, the straight edges, the track. It looked designed. But years of following scientific discoveries have taught me caution. I've seen too many impossible objects explained by patient investigation. The face on Mars became a mundane hill. The Bosnian pyramids proved to be natural formations. The Bimini Road was just fractured beach rock. Yet something about the Baltic anomaly persists in my mind. Maybe it's the combination of features, not just the shape, but the track, the pillar, the second object, the reported phenomena. Natural explanations exist for each element individually, but all together, there's something profound about genuine mysteries. In our age of instant information, where any question seems answerable by a quick search, the Baltic anomaly resists easy explanation. It sits on the seafloor, patient and inscrutable, defying our need to categorize and understand. Not knowing is uncomfortable but valuable. It reminds us that Earth still holds secrets, that our knowledge, vast as it seems, has gaps. That mystery isn't just about what we haven't discovered, but about what challenges our methods of discovery. The various theories about the anomaly reveal more about us than about it. The UFO theory speaks to our hope that we're not alone, that the universe holds intelligence beyond Earth. The ancient monument theory reflects our fascination with lost civilizations and hidden history. The natural formation theory shows our desire to fit everything into known frameworks. The Nazi weapon theory demonstrates how we connect mysteries to known historical events. Each theory is a story we tell ourselves about what's possible, what's likely, what we hope or fear might be true. To definitively explain the Baltic Sea anomaly would require extensive excavation, removing sediment to fully expose the object and surrounding area, core drilling, taking deep samples to understand internal structure, chemical analysis, comprehensive testing of materials throughout the formation, archaeological investigation, proper archaeological methods to detect any cultural evidence, long-term monitoring, studying the site over time to detect any changes or activity, comparative studies, finding and studying similar formations elsewhere. This would cost millions and require international cooperation. Without major funding, the mystery will likely persist. Several scenarios could resolve the mystery. Natural confirmation. Detailed study proves it's an unusual but natural geological formation. Archaeological discovery. Evidence emerges of ancient human activity, rewriting Baltic prehistory. Technological find. Components or materials are found that suggest artificial origin, whether human or otherwise. Continued mystery. Even extensive study fails to explain all features, leaving questions open. Destruction. Natural or human activity destroys the site before it's fully studied. The Baltic Sea anomaly matters beyond its specific nature. Scientific method. It tests how we investigate anomalies and evaluate evidence. Ocean exploration. It highlights how little we know about our seafloors. Human psychology. It reveals how we process mystery and uncertainty. Cultural impact. It shows how modern mysteries become modern myths. Future discoveries. It prepares us for other anomalies we'll inevitably find. As we prepare to surface from this exploration, consider the patience of the Baltic Sea anomaly. It has rested on the seafloor for thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of years. Through the rise and fall of civilizations, through world wars fought in the waters above, through the coming and going of countless ships, it has waited. This patience isn't conscious, of course. The object, whatever it is, doesn't experience time, but its existence spans scales that dwarf human experience. It was there before the Vikings sailed these waters. It will be there long after we're gone. There's something peaceful in this patience. The anomaly doesn't need to be solved. It doesn't require our understanding. It simply is, resting in the darkness, keeping its secrets. The Baltic Sea anomaly is democratic in its mystery. No amount of expertise, equipment, or expense has definitively solved it. PhD geologists and amateur UFO hunters stand equally puzzled before the sonar images. It resists both scientific dismissal and sensational claims. This democracy is humbling. It reminds us that mystery doesn't respect credentials or certainty, that unknown things exist regardless of our ability to know them, that the universe doesn't owe us explanations. In our information age, not knowing feels like failure. We're supposed to have answers, to solve problems, to explain everything. The Baltic anomaly offers a different possibility, the comfort of mystery. There's relief in accepting that some things remain unknown. It means the world is bigger than our understanding. That surprise is still possible. That wonder isn't just for children but can persist through all our sophisticated knowing. Let this ascend once more to where the anomaly rests, past the cold thermocline where temperature drops, through the halocline where fresh and salt water meet, into the darkness where sunlight has never reached. Here, 90 meters down, the object waits, circular, enigmatic, patient. The track stretches behind it, a frozen record of ancient movement. The pillar holds it above the seafloor, defying simple explanation. Your lights play across its surface, revealing suggestions of structure or pareidolia, the human tendency to see patterns. Every angle offers new mysteries. Every feature suggests without confirming. The electromagnetic interference, real or imagined, creates a bubble of uncertainty around the object. Instruments fail or function strangely. The familiar becomes unreliable. You're left with just observation and wonder. Feel the weight of 90 meters of water above you. Each meter adds pressure, complexity, difficulty. This depth is trivial by ocean standards, but challenging for human exploration. You were visitors here, brief and fragile. The anomaly belongs to this pressure, this darkness. It's adapted to conditions that challenge us. Our difficulty in studying it isn't just technical but fundamental. We're trying to understand something from an environment we can barely visit. This gap between human experience and deep-sea reality shapes the mystery. We see through cameras, touch through robotic arms, interpret through instruments. Where the anomaly remains mediated, filtered, distant. Whether UFO, ancient monument, natural formation, or something else entirely. The Baltic Sea anomaly has become a story. Not one story but many, each reflecting the storyteller's hopes, fears, and beliefs. These stories matter regardless of the object's true nature. They reveal human psychology, cultural anxieties, the need for wonder. They show how mystery becomes myth in real time, how anomalies become anchors for broader narratives about reality. The stories will continue evolving. New theories will emerge. Old ones will be refined or discarded. The anomaly will accumulate meanings like sediment, each layer adding to its cultural depth. The Baltic Sea keeps its secret, as oceans always have. Throughout human history, the sea has hidden things from us: ships, cities, creatures, mysteries. It reveals them slowly, partially, mysteriously. The anomaly is part of this ancient game between ocean and observer. It offers glimpses but not clarity, evidence but not proof, possibilities but not certainties. Perhaps this is the ocean's teaching that not everything is for us to know, that mystery is as natural as knowledge, that the unknown is vast, patient, and sometimes shaped like the Millennium Falcon. As we rise from the depths of this exploration, feel the pressure decreasing, the water warms slightly, light begins to penetrate, first as the faintest glow, then gradually brightening toward the surface. But you carry something back from the depth, the knowledge that mystery persists, that 90 meters below the Baltic surface, something waits that we don't understand, that our oceans hold secrets we've barely begun to discover. This knowledge changes how you see the sea. Every body of water might hide anomalies. Every depth might hold mysteries. The familiar surface conceals unfamiliar depths. Right now, as you prepare for sleep, the Baltic Sea anomaly rests in darkness. Water moves over it in slow currents. Marine snow settles on its surface. Fish swim past, indifferent to its mystery. It continues existing whether we understand it or not. Our theories don't change its nature. Our debates don't affect its patience. It simply is, circular and enigmatic, tracks stretching behind it, waiting on the seafloor. Tomorrow, it will still be there. Next year, next decade, probably next century, slowly accumulating sediment, slowly becoming part of the seafloor, slowly deepening its mystery. So what is the Baltic Sea anomaly? UFO? Ancient monument? Natural formation? Something else? The honest answer is, we don't know. Despite expeditions, analysis, and endless speculation, it remains unexplained. It resists our categories, challenges our methods, persists in mystery, and perhaps that's its greatest value. In showing us something we can't easily explain, it reminds us of the limits of our knowledge. It keeps wonder alive in an age that sometimes seems to have explained everything. Tonight, you might dream of the Baltic anomaly. In dreams, you might descend without pressure suits, see without lights, understand without instruments. Dream logic might reveal what waking investigation cannot. You might dream it's a crashed spacecraft, its alien pilots long gone, their journey's purpose unknown, or an ancient temple, built when the Baltic was dry land, dedicated to forgotten gods, or a natural formation so unlikely that it seems designed, nature playing architect. Or you might dream it's exactly what it appears to be, a mystery, something that exists between categories, neither fully natural nor artificial, neither explainable nor impossible. A reminder that reality includes things we don't understand. The Baltic Sea anomaly's greatest mystery might not be what it is, but what it means that we don't know what it is. In an age of satellites and submersibles, of sonar and spectrometry, something sits on a shallow seafloor and defies explanation. This isn't failure, but opportunity. It means discovery is still possible. That mystery persists despite our tools and knowledge, that the Earth still holds secrets worth seeking. The anomaly waits in the Baltic darkness, patient as stone, mysterious as the deep. It doesn't need our understanding, but we might need its mystery, to keep us humble, curious and aware that the unknown is vast and close and shaped like questions we haven't learned to ask. Sleep now, knowing that beneath familiar waters, mysteries rest on the seafloor. Dream of circular objects and impossible tracks. Wake tomorrow in a world that still holds wonders, still keeps secrets, still rewards those who seek the unknown in the deep. The Baltic Sea anomaly waits in darkness. Mystery persists. Wonder continues. To truly understand what we're seeing in the Baltic Sea anomaly images, we need to understand how side-scan sonar works and why it can deceive us. Side-scan sonar sends acoustic pulses sideways from a towfish, a torpedo-shaped device towed behind a ship. These pulses bounce off the seafloor and return, creating an acoustic image based on the strength and timing of the returns. Hard surfaces reflect more sound, appearing bright on sonar. Soft sediments absorb sound, appearing dark. Shadows appear behind raised objects, and these shadows can tell us about height and shape. But here's the crucial point. Sonar doesn't show us what things look like visually. It shows us their acoustic properties. The Baltic Sea anomaly appears striking on sonar precisely because it reflects sound differently than the surrounding seafloor. The circular shape returns strong signals, suggesting a hard surface. The surrounding seafloor returns weaker signals, indicating softer sediment. This contrast creates the dramatic image that captured world attention. But sonar can mislead. A pile of rocks can look artificially arranged. Natural geological formations can appear geometric. Gas seeps can create circular features. Glacial deposits can show straight edges where they've fractured. What looks designed might simply be nature's coincidence, viewed through technology that emphasizes certain features while hiding others. Ocean X used a relatively basic side-scan sonar system. Modern multi-beam sonar could provide much more detailed information, creating 3D maps of the object. Synthetic aperture sonar could reveal fine details invisible to conventional systems. Sub-bottom profilers could show what's beneath the surface, but these technologies are expensive, and no one has yet funded such a comprehensive survey. The samples retrieved from the anomaly have undergone various analyses, but the results raise more questions than answers. Let's examine what we actually know about the object's composition. Iron content. The samples show iron concentrations of 15 to 20%, significantly higher than typical Baltic sediments, usually 3 to 5%. But iron-rich formations aren't unprecedented. Ferromanganese concretions form naturally in the Baltic, creating hard, iron-rich deposits. The question is whether the concentration and distribution match natural patterns. Titanium traces. Titanium dioxide tiothiope appears in concentrations of 0.5-1%. While titanium is rare in the Baltic, it's not impossible. Ilmenite, a titanium iron oxide mineral, can be transported by glaciers. The Scandinavian mountains contain titanium-bearing rocks that glaciers could have carried to the Baltic. Combustion indicators. Some samples show what appears to be partial melting or vitrification, glass-like transformation from extreme heat. This could indicate volcanic origin, though the Baltic isn't volcanic. Lightning strikes fulgurites form when lightning hits sand. Meteorite impact, though no impact crater is evident. Industrial activity, though the depth makes this unlikely. Unknown natural process. Crystalline structure. Microscopic analysis reveals unusual, crystalline patterns. Some crystals show twinning and deformation suggesting extreme pressure. Others show growth patterns typically associated with hydrothermal activity, but the Baltic lacks the volcanic activity usually associated with hydrothermal systems. Age dating paradox. Different dating methods give conflicting results. Radiocarbon dating, limited by the lack of organic material. Potassium-argon dating suggests ages from 14,000 to 140,000 years. Stratigraphic dating, based on sediment layers, indicates post-glacial placement. Magnetic reversal dating, inconclusive due to local magnetic anomalies. These conflicting dates might indicate multiple formation periods. Contamination of samples, limitations of dating methods in this context. A genuinely anomalous formation process. The reported equipment, failures near the anomaly, deserve careful examination. Documented failures, digital cameras, sudden battery drain, corrupted memory cards, sensor malfunctions, satellite phones, loss of signal directly above the object, electronic compasses, spinning or pointing away from magnetic north, dive computers, depth gauge errors, timekeeping issues, ROV systems, control loss, video feed interruption, Possible natural explanations: magnetic field distortion. If the object contains magnetite or other magnetic minerals, it could create a localized magnetic field. The Baltic region has natural magnetic anomalies due to its complex geological history. Post-glacial rebound has created stress fields that can affect magnetism. Electromagnetic induction. Moving conductive seawater through a magnetic field generates electrical currents. If the object has unusual magnetic properties, it could create electromagnetic effects that interfere with electronics. Piezoelectric effects. Some minerals generate electrical fields under pressure. At 90 meters depth, the pressure could cause certain crystals to produce electromagnetic interference. Chemical battery. Different metals in seawater can create galvanic cells, natural batteries. If the object contains multiple metal types, it could generate electrical currents. The intensity of reported failures seems excessive for natural phenomena. Equipment designed for underwater use shouldn't fail from typical magnetic anomalies. The selective nature of failures. Some equipment works, others don't, is puzzling. No one has successfully measured the supposed field with proper magnetometers. The second anomaly, discovered 200 meters from the main object, has received less attention, but might be equally important. Characteristics: diameter, approximately 40 meters, shape circular, but less defined than the main object. Height, raised 3 meters above seafloor. Surface, appears smoother on sonar. Fewer angular features. Track, no obvious track leading to this object. Orientation, aligned with the main object's axis. Connection features, sonar suggests a possible corridor or ridge connecting the two objects. This connection is straight, approximately 2 meters wide, and slightly raised above the seafloor. If artificial, it could represent a walkway or passage between structures, a power or communication conduit, part of a larger, mostly buried structure. Coincidental alignment of natural features. Theories specific to the second object: escape pod or auxiliary craft. UFO theory: secondary temple or outbuilding. Monument theory: natural formation created by the same process as the main object. Debris from the main object's formation or arrival. Unrelated object, coincidentally nearby. The presence of two unusual objects so close together statistically reduces the probability of natural formation, unless a single natural process created both. The Baltic Sea region has a complex history that could explain artificial structures. Post-glacial habitation. After the last ice age, as glaciers retreated, the Baltic Basin went through several stages. Baltic Ice Lake, 12,600 meters 10,300 BCE, 300 meters 9,500 BCE. Brief saltwater phase. Ancellus Lake, 9,500 meters AS. Freshwater lake again. Litorina Sea, 8,000 4,000 BCE. Saltwater warmer than today. Modern Baltic Sea, 4,000 BCE present. Brackish cooler. Areas now 90 meters underwater. Were once dry land, potentially inhabited. Mesolithic cultures. The Maglemosian culture, 9,000 BCE, inhabited the Baltic region when sea levels were lower. They were sophisticated hunter-gatherers who built structures, created art, and had complex spiritual beliefs. Could they have built monuments on land, now submerged? Amber trade routes. The Baltic has been central to European trade for millennia, particularly for amber. Ancient trade routes crossed the region. Ships carrying valuable cargo sank here. Could the anomaly be related to ancient maritime activity? Viking Age mysteries. Vikings dominated the Baltic from the 8th–11th centuries. They were capable navigators and builders. Some Viking sites show sophisticated understanding of geometry and astronomy. Could this be an unknown Viking installation? Medieval engineering. The Hanseatic League built impressive maritime structures throughout the Baltic. They had advanced engineering capabilities for their time. Might this be a failed or forgotten Hanseatic project? Some researchers propose the anomaly represents technology from a lost civilization. Antediluvian civilization. flood myths worldwide, might preserve memories of real sea level rise after the Ice Age. Could an advanced pre-flood civilization have built structures now underwater? Ancient astronomical observatory. The object's circular shape and reported alignment features suggest possible astronomical purpose. Many ancient cultures built sophisticated observatories. The Baltic's long winter nights would make it ideal for stargazing. Sonic temple. Some ancient structures show sophisticated understanding of acoustics. The anomalies shape could be designed to amplify or focus sound. Acoustic properties might explain the reported electromagnetic effects. Power generation. Speculative theories suggest ancient civilizations might have harnessed natural energy. The object's position, materials, and reported effects could indicate an energy harvesting device, portal, or gateway. Fringe theories propose the object as a dimensional gateway or transportation device. While scientifically unsupported, such theories persist in popular culture. The Nazi secret weapon theory deserves detailed examination given historical context. Baltic Sea Nazi activity. Nazis extensively used the Baltic for U-boat training and operations, secret weapon testing, transportation of materials and personnel, disposal of sensitive materials at war's end. Specific projects that could relate. Die Glocke, the bell, allegedly an experimental anti-gravity. Descriptions mention a bell-shaped object, 9 feet wide and 12 to 15 feet high, said to use counter-rotating cylinders containing mercury-like substance. Reports claim it created strange effects, including equipment malfunction. Project Hannibal, supposed flying disc program, claimed to produce saucer-shaped aircraft, never confirmed by mainstream historians, would explain disc shape and electromagnetic effects. Sonic weapons. Nazis experimented with sound as a weapon, built large parabolic reflectors for focusing sound, could explain the anomalies shape and some reported effects. V3 supergun, a massive cannon designed to shell London from France. Components were manufactured around the Baltic. Could parts have been dumped here? No documentation in captured Nazi archives. Location doesn't match known Nazi facilities. Technology doesn't match confirmed Nazi capabilities. Dating suggests object predates Nazi era. Materials don't match Nazi manufacturing. The Cold War saw extensive military activity in the Baltic. Soviet activities, submarine bases and operations, underwater listening, post-nuclear waste, disposal, experimental weapons testing, NATO operations, surveillance installations, anti-submarine warfare systems, intelligence gathering equipment, stay-behind networks, Operation Gladio. Neutral Sweden. Extensive coastal defense systems, secret military installations, advanced submarine detection networks, possible cooperation with both sides. Could the anomaly be a Cold War installation deliberately sunk to prevent capture or discovery? The electromagnetic interference could be failing nuclear power sources or still active surveillance equipment. The Baltic Sea's unusual characteristics affect both the anomaly and our ability to study it. Salinity stratification. The Baltic has distinct layers. Surface layer, low salinity, 0.3-0.5% from river runoff. Halocline, sharp salinity change at 40-80 meters. Deep layer, higher salinity, 1.0-2.0% from North Sea inflow. This stratification creates chemical gradients that could cause unusual mineral precipitation. Density differences affecting object, settlement barriers to vertical mixing preserving deep water conditions. Anoxic conditions, below 70-100 meters. The Baltic often lacks oxygen. This creates exceptional preservation conditions, unique chemistry, supporting unusual mineral formation, hostile environment for most life, conditions similar to those that preserve shipwrecks, post-glacial rebound. Scandinavia is still rising from Ice Age glacier weight. This causes seafloor deformation and cracking stress fields affecting local magnetism, possible exposure of previously buried features, changing water depths over time, sedimentation, Patterns. Baltic sedimentation is complex. Glacial clay layers from Ice Age, organic mud from marine production, sand and gravel from rivers, human pollutants from industrial era. These layers could obscure the object's true shape, create false features on sonar, preserve or destroy evidence, complicate dating efforts. Natural processes that could create anomaly-like features. Methane seeps. Gas escaping from seafloor can create circular pockmarks, carbonate formations, unusual mineralogy. Effects on equipment. The Baltic has known methane deposits from decaying organic matter. Gas seepage could explain circular shape, gas escape crater, raised rim, displaced sediment, hard surface, carbonate precipitation, temperature anomaly, gas is warmer. Possible equipment effects. Gas bubbles affect electronics. Kettle formation. When buried ice blocks melt, they leave circular depressions, inverted. These could create mounds. Glacial erratics. Massive rocks transported by glaciers, sometimes in unusual shapes. The Baltic has many examples. Drumlin fields. Elongated hills formed under glaciers, usually teardrop-shaped, but can be modified. Esker systems. Deposits from rivers flowing under glaciers can create unusual linear features. Concretion processes. Minerals precipitating around a nucleus can create spherical or disc-shaped formations. Very hard surfaces. Unusual chemical compositions. Geometric fracture patterns. The Baltic's changing chemistry over millennia could support unique concretion formation. Submarine landslides. Underwater avalanches can create debris fields with unusual arrangements. Compressed features appearing artificial long tracks from sliding material. Secondary deposits nearby. The Baltic's steep-sided basins make landslides possible. Studying the anomaly faces numerous obstacles. Depth challenges. At 90 meters, the site requires technical diving skills or ROVs, decompression procedures, limited bottom time for divers, expensive support vessels, visibility issues. Baltic visibility is often less than 1 meter due to suspended sediments, plankton blooms, river runoff, disturbed bottom sediments. This means photography is extremely difficult. Visual inspection is limited. Navigation requires instruments. Details are easily missed. Preservation concerns. Studying the object risks damaging. Anchoring can destroy features. Divers stir up sediments. Sampling removes material. Equipment installation causes damage. Legal complications. The site involves international waters, jurisdiction, potential heritage protection, military sensitivity, commercial interests. The scientific community's cautious response has reasons. Reputation risk. Association with UFO hunting can damage careers. Funding agencies avoid controversial projects. Peer review is harsh on extraordinary claims. Media sensationalism undermines serious study. Limited resources. Ocean research is expensive. Funding prioritizes known phenomena. The anomaly doesn't fit established research programs. Return on investment is uncertain. Methodological issues. Ocean X's investigation hasn't followed scientific protocols. Evidence collection has been unsystematic. Chain of custody for samples is questionable. Reproducibility of observations is poor. Alternative explanations. Scientists prefer parsimony. Simple explanations over complex ones. Natural formation is simpler than artificial origin. Known processes are preferred over unknown ones. Extraordinary evidence is needed for extraordinary claims. Media coverage has complicated serious investigation. Sensationalism. Headlines emphasizing UFOs and mysteries. Selective reporting of dramatic claims. Ignoring skeptical viewpoints. Creating false controversies. Misrepresentation. Taking quotes out of context. Exaggerating equipment failures. Implying scientific support where none exists. Conflating speculation with fact. Commercial pressure. Mystery generates views and revenue. Solved mysteries don't sell. Pressure to maintain mystery. Funding tied to public interest. This media circus has alienated serious scientists, attracted questionable researchers, Confused public understanding. Complicated funding efforts. Some researchers propose the anomaly is related to plasma phenomena. Earth's plasma environment. Earth is surrounded by plasma, ionized gas from solar wind. This plasma interacts with Earth's magnetic field. Certain geological formations can focus plasma effects. Proposed mechanism. The object's composition creates a natural capacitor. Tidal movements generate electrical currents. These currents interact with Earth's magnetosphere. The result is localized plasma phenomena. This could explain electromagnetic interference, equipment failures, unusual mineral formation, the circular shape, plasma vortex structure, temperature anomalies, problems. No known mechanism for such intense localized effects. Plasma phenomena usually occur at altitude, not seafloor. The Baltic's geology doesn't support this theory. No detection of expected radiation or particles. An intriguing theory suggests the object is a natural battery. Proposed structure. Different metal-rich layers create galvanic cells. Seawater acts as electrolyte. The circular shape maximizes surface area. The pillar provides insulation from ground. Energy source. Chemical differences between layers. Tidal movement of conductive seawater. Temperature gradients between layers. Possible piezoelectric effects from pressure. Effects. Generates electrical current. Creates magnetic fields. Causes equipment interference. Accelerates certain chemical reactions. Supporting evidence. High metal content in samples. Reports of equipment failure. Slight temperature elevation. Unusual mineral precipitation patterns. Challenges. No measurement of actual electrical output. Natural batteries are usually weak. Arrangement seems too organized. Effect intensity exceeds expectations. Fringe theorists propose space-time effects. The hypothesis. The object creates or marks a gravitational anomaly. This anomaly affects space-time locally. The result is dimensional instability. Proposed effects. Time dilation. Extremely minimal. Spatial distortion. Unmeasurable. Quantum field fluctuations. Intersection with parallel dimensions. Evidence. Equipment malfunctions. Attributed to space-time effects. Circular shape. Natural form for dimensional portals. Track from dimensional displacement. Second object. Dimensional echo. Scientific response. No theoretical basis in known physics. No detection of gravitational anomalies. Effects have conventional explanations. Pure speculation without evidence. Some New Age theorists connect the anomaly to planetary consciousness. The concept, Earth has consciousness or intelligence. Gaia hypothesis. Certain locations are nodes in this consciousness. The anomaly is one such node. Proposed function, communication, point with Earth consciousness, healing or balancing point for planetary energy, marker for significant Earth changes, portal for consciousness expansion. Claims, psychics report strong energy at the site. Meditation near the coordinates produces visions. Dreams about the site contain messages. Healing effects from focused intention. Critical analysis. No scientific basis for claims. Anecdotal reports lack verification. Confirmation bias explains experiences. Psychological projection onto mystery. Professional divers who visited the anomaly report consistent experiences. Stefan Hagerborn, Ocean X diver. In my 40 years of diving, including hundreds of wrecks, I've never seen anything like it. The surface feels almost polished in places, then rough and crystalline in others. When we tried to break off a sample, it was harder than any rock I've encountered at that depth. Carl Erickson, independent diver, 2013. The visibility was terrible, maybe 30 centimeters. But when you put your hand on it, you can feel edges, corners, what seems like intentional shaping. My dive computer started giving impossible readings, depth fluctuations of 10 meters while I was stationary. Anonymous military diver claimed 2014 visit. We were tasked with assessment, not recovery. I can confirm the object is real, unusual, and the electromagnetic effects are genuine. Our equipment wasn't affected as dramatically as civilian reports suggest. but we use hardened military gear. I can't say what it is, but it's not a typical geological formation. Crew members from various expeditions report unusual experiences. Captain Marcus Lindbergh, support vessel, 2012. Our GPS started showing position errors of 50 poles 100 meters when directly over the object. The ship's compass spun slowly but continuously. Even our mechanical chronometer lost time, gained 4 minutes in 2 hours. Sonar operator Eric Anderson, 2016 expedition. The object appears different each time we scan it. Not dramatically, but details change. It's like it's settling or shifting. The sonar returns are inconsistent, sometimes sharp, sometimes fuzzy. I've mapped hundreds of wrecks. This doesn't behave like any of them. Baltic fishermen have stories predating the anomaly's discovery. Olaf Peterson, fishing since 1970s. My grandfather told me about the cursed circles where nets would tangle and instruments failed. We avoided that area. Fish don't congregate there like they do at wrecks. It's dead water. 7 Johansson, commercial fisherman. I lost an expensive net there in 2008, before anyone knew about the anomaly. It snagged on something that shouldn't be there. The charts show flat bottom. When we tried to free it, our radio died. GPS failed. We cut the net and left. The Baltic anomaly isn't unique. Similar mysteries exist worldwide. Yonaguni Monument, Japan, discovered 1987 off Okinawa pyramid-like structure, with steps and terraces, debates between natural formation and ancient construction. Dating suggests 8,000 1200 years old, like Baltic anomaly. Geometric features, scientific controversy. Bimini Road, Bahamas, discovered 1968. Off Bimini Island, linear feature, resembling a road or wall, claimed as Atlantis remnant by some, proved natural beach rock. By most scientists, like Baltic anomaly, initially sensational, then disputed. Cuban underwater city, reported 2001 off Cuban coast. Sonar shows pyramid-like structures, 600 meters 750 meters deep, never properly investigated. Like Baltic anomaly, sonar images, limited study Lake Michigan Stonehenge, discovered 2007 in Grand Traverse Bay, circle of stones, 40 feet underwater, possible carved mastodon on one stone, could be 9,000 years old. Like Baltic anomaly, circular formation, dating issues, Gulf of Khambhat, structures India, discovered 2001 off Gujarat coast. Geometric patterns on sonar, claimed as ancient city, disputed by mainstream archaeology. Like Baltic anomaly, sonar discovery, controversy. These cases show patterns. Sonar reveals suggestive shapes, initial excitement about artificial origin, limited investigation due to costs, depth, scientific community skepticism, persistent public interest, despite lack of evidence. The Baltic anomaly triggers deep psychological needs, pattern recognition. Humans evolved to see patterns, even where none exist. This helped ancestors survive by spotting predators. Now it makes us see faces in clouds, design in randomness. The anomaly's circular shape and features trigger this response. Cognitive dissonance. Once we form a belief, we resist changing it. Evidence supporting our view seems stronger. Contradicting evidence is rationalized away. People committed to UFO ancient civilization. Theories interpret all data through that lens. Need for wonder. Modern life can feel predictable, mundane. Mysteries restore magic to the world. The unknown makes life more interesting. The anomaly offers escape from ordinary reality. Conspiracy thinking. Some people prefer hidden knowledge. They are hiding the truth becomes appealing. Being in the know provides status. The anomaly's limited investigation feeds this. Existential questions. Are we alone in the universe? Is history as we know it complete? The anomaly potentially addresses these. Answers would be transformative. Skeptics face their own psychological challenges. Dismissal bias. Tendency to reject claims too quickly. Fear of being seen as gullible. Preference for conventional explanations. May miss genuine anomalies. Expertise blindness. Experts may not see outside their field. Geologists see rocks. Archaeologists see ruins. Interdisciplinary phenomena get missed. The anomaly might require combined expertise. Reputation protection. Scientists risk careers on controversial topics, safer to avoid than investigate. This creates knowledge gaps. The anomaly falls into such a gap. Burden of proof. Skeptics demand extraordinary evidence. But what constitutes extraordinary? When is evidence sufficient? The anomaly highlights these questions. A proper investigation would require: Phase 1, remote sensing, 6 months, $2 million. Multi-beam sonar mapping, sub-bottom profiling, magnetometer surveys, gravimeter measurements, water column analysis, ROV video documentation. Phase 2, sampling program, 6 months, $3 million. Core drilling through object, systematic surface, sampling surrounding sediment, analysis, water chemistry profiling, biological sampling, isotope analysis. Phase 3, excavation 1 year, $10 million. Careful sediment removal, photogrammetric documentation, artifact recovery if present, structural analysis, complete exposure of object, preservation of significant features. Phase 4, analysis, 1 year, $5 million. Laboratory examination of samples, dating using multiple methods, comparative geological studies, experimental reproduction attempts, peer review and publication, public documentation. Total 3 years, $20 million. Minimum. New technologies could resolve the mystery. Quantum sensors, detecting minute gravitational variations, mapping density differences, identifying material composition not affected by electromagnetic interference. AI analysis, pattern recognition and sonar data, comparing with global geological database, predicting natural versus artificial features, removing human bias from interpretation. Molecular archaeology, DNA, RNA extraction from sediments, identifying ancient biological activity, dating organic traces, detecting human presence indicators. Muon tomography, using cosmic ray muons to image interior, like X-rays but penetrating meters of rock, would reveal internal structure. Non-invasive technique. Neutrino detection, theoretical detection of neutrino interactions, could identify unusual nuclear processes, would detect any exotic materials. Currently experimental technology. Public involvement could advance research. Crowd-sourced analysis, volunteers examining sonar data, pattern recognition by thousands of eyes, statistical analysis of observations, reducing individual bias. Historical research, searching archives for references, interviewing elderly fishermen, collecting local legends, mapping historical anomalies, funding campaigns, crowd-funding research expeditions, adopt a meter of seafloor, subscription documentary projects, public ownership of discoveries, educational programs, school projects on Baltic geology, university thesis opportunities, public lectures on ocean mysteries, science communication training. The anomaly raises questions about evidence and proof. What constitutes proof? How much evidence is needed? Who decides what's sufficient? Can absence of evidence be meaningful? When do we stop investigating? The role of authority. Should scientific consensus determine truth? Can minorities be correct against majorities? How do we balance expertise with openness? Who are the legitimate authorities? Extraordinary claims. Sagan's maxim about extraordinary evidence. But what makes a claim extraordinary? Is a natural explanation always ordinary? When do we accept the extraordinary? The precautionary principle. Should we assume natural until proven artificial, or preserve as potentially significant? How do we balance investigation with preservation? What if we're wrong? The anomaly reveals social dynamics, in-groups and out-groups, UFO believers versus skeptics, scientists versus enthusiasts. Each group has its own language, leaders, literature. The anomaly becomes a social marker. Economic interests. Mystery generates tourism, media content, research grants. Solution might end revenue streams. Various parties benefit from continued mystery. Truth becomes secondary to profit. National pride. Swedish discovery. International interest. Questions of ownership and control. Scientific credit and cultural heritage. The anomaly as national asset. Information control. Who decides what's released? How is information filtered? What role should secrecy play? Public right to know versus responsible disclosure. My relationship with the Baltic anomaly has evolved through stages. Initial excitement. 2011. The sonar image was stunning, clearly artificial looking. Mind raced with possibilities. Felt like witnessing historic discovery. Growing skepticism. 2012 to 2013. First expedition results were vague. No smoking gun evidence. Natural explanations seemed plausible. Enthusiasm cooled. Renewed interest. 2014 to 2015. Equipment failure reports intriguing. Multiple witnesses with consistent stories. Natural explanations had weaknesses. Mystery deepened. Balanced uncertainty. 2016. Present. Accepting we don't know. Both natural and artificial possible. Evidence insufficient either way. Comfortable with mystery. This journey mirrors scientific process. Hypothesis formation. Evidence gathering. Theory revision. Accepting uncertainty. The Baltic anomaly's value might be in remaining unsolved. Intellectual humility. Reminds us we don't know everything. Challenges scientific hubris. Keeps wonder alive. Prevents premature closure. Imagination catalyst sparks creative thinking. Inspires stories and art. Engages public with science. Makes ocean exploration exciting. Methodological testing. Challenges investigation methods. Reveals limitations of technology. Forces interdisciplinary cooperation. Improves future research. Cultural mirror. Reflects our hopes and fears. Shows what we want to believe. Reveals social dynamics. Documents contemporary mythology making. The anomaly reminds us the ocean remains alien. We've mapped Mars better than our seafloor. Thousands of shipwrecks remain undiscovered. New species found regularly. Entire ecosystems unknown. The Baltic, despite being surrounded by developed nations, keeps secrets. If mysteries exist here, what lies in remote oceans? The anomaly is perhaps ordinary compared to undiscovered wonders. This ignorance is humbling, but exciting. Earth still holds surprises. Discovery age isn't over. Wonder remains possible. Let quote. Semic one final descent to the anomaly. Down through the darkening water, past the halo cline where fresh meets salt, into the cold embrace of the deep Baltic. 90 meters down, in permanent darkness, it waits. Circular, patient, mysterious. The track stretches behind it, like a comet's tail, frozen in mud. The pillar holds it above the seafloor, defying simple explanation. Your lights play across its surface. Is that a straight edge or natural fracture? A designed curve or random erosion? Stairs or stepped geological layers? Every feature suggests without confirming, promises without delivering. The water is cold, still, ancient. This deep, the Baltic barely moves. Currents are weak, seasons meaningless. The anomaly exists in near stasis, changing imperceptibly, if at all. You reach out to touch it. The surface is hard, colder than the surrounding water, rough in places, smooth in others. It feels real, solid, present, but what it is remains unknowable, through touch alone. Feel the weight of not knowing. In our age of instant answers, this weight is unusual. We carry it uncomfortably, wanting resolution. But mysteries have their own weight, their own value. They create space for possibility. They prevent premature certainty. They keep us searching, thinking, wondering. The Baltic anomaly carries the weight of all ocean mysteries. Every unexplored depth, every strange sonar return, every sailor's tale of something unusual. It represents the unknown that surrounds us, vast and patient. The anomaly doesn't care about our theories. It exists regardless of explanation. UFO, monument, or rock. It remains itself. This indifference is democratic. Expert and amateur stand equal before it. No amount of degrees or certainty changes its nature. It humbles all equally. In this democracy, wonder is the common currency. Whether you believe it's artificial or natural, the wonder remains. The mystery unites even as theories divide. The anomaly has patience. We lack. It waited thousands of years for discovery. It can wait thousands more for explanation. This patience is teaching. We rush to categorize, explain, dismiss, or embrace. The anomaly simply continues being, unchanged by our urgency. Perhaps the lesson is patience. Some mysteries resolve slowly. Some questions require generations to answer. Some things refuse our timelines. As you surface from this final dive, the anomaly remains below. Tomorrow, it will still be there. Next year, next decade, probably next century, it will accumulate more theories, more visits, more samples taken, more stories told, or it will be forgotten. Rediscovered, forgotten again. The cycle of human attention washing over it like weak tides. But it will continue existing, whether we watch or not, whether we understand or not. Our knowledge doesn't validate it. Our ignorance doesn't diminish it. After all investigation, we know something unusual exists at the stated coordinates. It appears circular and raised on sonar. It has properties that generate controversy. Multiple witnesses report consistent features. No explanation fully satisfies all evidence. What we don't know, the list is longer. Its true shape and composition, its age and origin, whether it's artificial or natural, why equipment reportedly fails near it, what the track truly represents, the significance of the second object, what lies beneath the visible surface. Some aspects might remain forever mysterious. The intentions of builders, if artificial, the exact formation process, if natural, what evidence has been lost to time, what stories it could tell if it could speak. This permanent uncertainty isn't failure, but reality. Not everything yields to investigation. Some mysteries outlast the civilizations that discover them. The Baltic Sea anomaly has become more than an object on the seafloor. It's entered our collective imagination, become part of our cultural mythology, a modern legend in formation. Every article, every documentary, every discussion adds layers to its story. It accumulates meanings like marine growth. The mystery becomes encrusted with human projection, hope, fear, wonder. This process is as interesting as the object itself. We're watching mythology form in real time, seeing how mysteries become legends, how anomalies become artifacts of imagination. Whether UFO monument or stone, the anomaly has achieved a different kind of existence in human consciousness. It's become a symbol of the unknown, a reminder of mystery, a token of possibility. As sleep approaches, you might dream of the Baltic anomaly. In dreams, the water is clear, the pressure doesn't exist, understanding comes without instruments. You might see it as it truly is, whatever that means in dream logic. A crashed vessel from distant stars, its pilots long gone, their mission unknown. An ancient temple where forgotten priests once prayed to ocean gods. A natural formation so unlikely it seems designed. Geology playing architect. In dreams, you can enter it, explore its interior, understand its purpose. Dream logic provides answers that waking investigation cannot. These answers aren't true or false. They're dreams, valuable in their own way. The Baltic anomaly rests in the ocean of our collective consciousness now. It floats there with other mysteries: Atlantis, the Bermuda Triangle, the Mary Celeste, all the unexplained things that capture imagination. This ocean is deeper than the Baltic, older than its waters. It's where humanity stores its questions, its wonders, its reminders that the world exceeds understanding. The anomaly has earned its place in this ocean. It will drift there, accumulated with story and speculation, visited by curious thoughts, forever partially submerged in mystery. In the real Baltic, 90 meters down, darkness is patient. It's been dark there for millennia, will be dark for millennia more. The anomaly rests in this patience, unhurried by human curiosity. This darkness isn't empty but full of possibility, full of unknowing, full of space for wonder. It's the darkness that preserves mystery, that protects some things from the harsh light of certainty. As your consciousness dims towards sleep's darkness, you join this patience. Your questions about the anomaly don't need immediate answers. They can rest in darkness, patient as the seafloor, mysterious as the deep dot. We end where we began, with something circular on the seafloor, unexplained despite investigation, mysterious despite technology, patient despite our impatience. The circular shape is fitting. Our investigation has been circular too, from mystery through investigation back to mystery. We've circled the anomaly without penetrating its secret, orbited without landing. This circular journey isn't futile, but natural. Some things are meant to be circled rather than solved, contemplated rather than conquered, wondered at rather than understood. Like the anomaly's mysterious track across the seafloor, our investigation leaves its own trail of theories, stories, questions, wonder. This track records our attempt to understand, our trajectory through mystery. Future investigators will find our track and wonder at it. Why did early 21st century humans find this so fascinating? What did they see that we might miss? What did they miss that we might see? Our track becomes part of the mystery, layers of human curiosity accumulated on an already mysterious object. We're not just investigating the anomaly, we're adding to it. Like the second anomaly 200 meters from the main object, perhaps understanding itself comes in pairs: rational investigation and mystical wonder, scientific method and imaginative speculation, knowledge and mystery. These pairs aren't opposites but partners. Each defines the other. Knowledge needs mystery to give it meaning. Mystery needs knowledge to give it context. The Baltic anomaly exists at their intersection. We need both the scientists who say probably natural and the dreamers who say but what if. Together they create the full human response to mystery, the complete circle of wondering. The reported equipment failures near the anomaly might be metaphorical. It disrupts our equipment for understanding, our categories, our certainties, our need to know, near mystery. Our intellectual equipment fails. Rational thought spins like a confused compass. Logic loses signal. Certainty drains like a battery. We're left with older tools: wonder, imagination, acceptance of unknowing. This failure isn't malfunction, but reminder. We navigate mystery with different instruments than we use for the known. The anomaly teaches us to switch equipment, to use wonder when knowledge fails. Divers report the water near the anomaly is slightly warmer. Perhaps mystery itself generates heat, the warmth of possibility, the energy of unknowing, the friction between what is and what might be. This warmth is subtle, easy to miss or dismiss, but it's there for those who feel for it. The universe is slightly warmer where mysteries exist, slightly more alive where questions remain open. Feel that warmth as you drift toward sleep. The Baltic anomaly adds its small heat to the universe's mystery. You carry some of that warmth now, having touched the mystery, having wondered at the unknown. The anomaly reportedly rests on a pillar, raised above the seafloor. Perhaps all mysteries rest on such pillars, elevated above simple explanation, supported by the gap between what we see and what we understand. This elevation gives mysteries their power. They're not buried in certainty, but raised into view. They demand attention, not by hiding but by being visible yet incomprehensible. The pillar that supports the Baltic anomaly supports wonder itself. As long as such pillars exist, mystery has a foundation, wonder has a platform, the unknown has a place to stand. The reported staircase on the anomaly's side leads nowhere we can follow while awake, but in dreams, stairs always lead somewhere, up to understanding, down to deeper mystery, or sideways into parallel possibilities. Tonight, you might climb those stairs in dreams. Each step takes you deeper into mystery, while seeming to rise. Sin. It's the paradox of understanding. The more we know we don't know. These dream stairs are worn smooth by all who've wondered about the anomaly. Your dreaming feet join thousands of others, all climbing toward meaning that retreats like the horizon, always visible, never reached. Like sonar, pinging off the anomaly, our investigation sends out pulses of inquiry and receives back echoes of mystery. The image forms from these echoes is suggestive but inconclusive, clear but incomprehensible. This is perhaps how all human knowledge works, sending out questions, receiving back echoes, building images from reflections. The Baltic anomaly shows us this process in pure form, strips it to essentials. Send out your final sonar pulse as you fall asleep. Let it descend through consciousness toward the anomaly of dreams. Listen for the echo. It will return, carrying the shape of mystery, the sound of the unknown. In the deep Baltic, where the anomaly rests, there's no privilege, no hierarchy, no special access. The darkness is equally dark for all. The pressure presses equally. The mystery mystifies universally. This democracy of the deep is comforting. We're all equal before the unknown. Expertise helps but doesn't determine. Belief matters but doesn't reveal. We're all just humans wondering at something on the seafloor. Join this democracy as you sleep. In dreams we're all equally lost, equally found, equally suspended between knowing and not knowing. The anomaly waits for all equally, reveals itself to none completely. Mystery, like energy, seems conserved. Solve one, another appears. Explain the Baltic anomaly tomorrow. Something else will emerge from the depths next week. The universe maintains its quota of unknowns. This conservation is necessary. Without mystery, exploration ends. Without unknowns, science stops. Without wonder, humanity diminishes. We need our anomalies, our questions, our reminders of ignorance. The Baltic anomaly serves this role now. When it's eventually explained or forgotten, something else will take its place. The mystery continues even if the specific mysteries change. Whether artificial or natural, the Baltic anomaly has become an artifact of human wonder. It exists now, as much in imagination as on the seafloor. We've made it ours through wondering, claimed it through curiosity. This transformation from object to artifact happens to all mysteries we engage with. They become part of human heritage, not through understanding, but through wondering. The anomaly is ours not because we know what it is, but because we've wondered what it might be. There's peace in accepting the unknown. The Baltic anomaly doesn't disturb this peace. It creates it. By resisting explanation, it creates space for peaceful not knowing. This peace isn't resignation but recognition. Some things remain unknown. Some questions remain open. Some mysteries remain mysterious. And that's not just acceptable. It's necessary, valuable, peaceful. Feel this peace as consciousness fades. The anomaly rests peacefully in the Baltic. Mystery rests peacefully in human experience. You can rest peacefully in not knowing. The anomaly is circular. Our investigation has been circular. And now sleep completes another circle. From waking to sleeping. From knowing to dreaming. From investigation to imagination. These circles don't close but spiral. Each pass around the mystery adds a layer, gains altitude or depth. We're not stuck, but ascending, stending in helical investigation, circular but progressive. Your sleep tonight adds another spiral to humanity's investigation of the Baltic anomaly. Your dreams about it, whether remembered or forgotten, contribute to its existence in human consciousness. The final mystery isn't what the Baltic anomaly is, but why we need to know, what drives us to investigate, to wonder, to create elaborate theories about something on a seafloor we'll likely never visit. This drive is perhaps the real anomaly, the strange human need to understand, to explain, to categorize the uncategorizable. We're the mystery, as much as any object on the seafloor. The Baltic anomaly is a mirror in which we see our own mysteriousness reflected. Our inability to explain it reveals our inability to explain ourselves. why we wonder, why we search, why we need answers to questions that perhaps don't need answering. In the Baltic depths, the anomaly rests in perfect silence. No waves lap against it, no currents sing through its features, no fish call near it. It exists in profound quiet. This silence is its strength. In silence, all theories are equal. In silence, all possibilities coexist. In silence, mystery maintains itself. Join this silence as you sleep. Let the chatter of theories fade. Let the need for answers quiet. Let the mystery simply be, silent and perfect in the darkness of the Baltic, in the darkness of sleep. As consciousness fades like the last light penetrating Baltic waters, the anomaly remains. It doesn't need your awareness to exist. It doesn't require understanding to be real. It simply is, circular, mysterious, patient. This independence is strangely comforting. The universe contains things that exist without our permission, without our understanding, without our awareness. We're not responsible for explaining everything. Some things are allowed to remain unexplained. Let go of the need to know what it is. Release the theories, the evidence, the arguments. Let the Baltic anomaly be what it has always been, a mystery resting on the seafloor, patient as stone, mysterious as the deep. Tonight's dreams await, perhaps containing their own anomalies, things that won't make sense upon waking, circular mysteries that resist interpretation, tracks across the seafloor of consciousness that lead nowhere explicable. These dream anomalies are related to the Baltic anomaly. They're all part of the same phenomenon, the universe's tendency to exceed our understanding, to present shapes that don't fit our categories, to leave tracks we can't follow. Welcome these dream anomalies. They're not problems to solve but experiences to have. Like the Baltic anomaly, they exist to be wondered at, not necessarily understood. The Baltic Sea anomaly rests at specific coordinates, 61°48, 15, 9, 19°47, 57, but also exists everywhere. Humans wonder about the unknown. It's precisely located yet universally present. You carry these coordinates now, not just as numbers but as knowledge that mystery exists, that the unknown persists, that wonder continues. The anomaly has given you its coordinates not to its physical location, but to mystery itself. The Baltic is 90 meters deep at the anomaly's location, but the mystery is deeper. It extends through the seafloor, through the earth, through space, through consciousness, bottomless. This depth doesn't end with sleep, but continues through dreams, through tomorrow's waking, through all future wondering about what rests on that seafloor, circular, and patient, and mysterious. You're entering that depth now, descending not just into sleep, but into the profound depth of unknowing where the Baltic anomaly truly rests, not on the seafloor, but in the deep ocean of human mystery. Rest now, as the anomaly rests. Be mysterious, as it is mysterious. Be patient, as it is patient. Be circular in your journey, from mystery through investigation back to mystery. The Baltic Sea anomaly continues its existence, physical on the seafloor, conceptual in consciousness, mythological in culture. You've touched all three existences. You carry its mystery now. Sleep brings its own mysteries, its own anomalies, its own unexplained circles and tracks. Enter them as you've entered the Baltic mystery, with wonder, with acceptance of unknowing, with peaceful curiosity. The anomaly waits in the Baltic darkness. Mystery persists in the universe. Wonder continues in your dreams. The unknown remains unknown, and that perhaps is exactly as it should be. Sweet dreams of circular mysteries, of patient darkness, of things on the seafloor that refuse explanation, that exist between categories, that remind us the universe is larger than our understanding. The Baltic Sea anomaly rests. You rest. Mystery rests. All is well in the unknown depths.